Hi traders, Mandy here from High Performance Trading. So yesterday I was working with a trader which was really interesting because he has for many, many years repeated the same mistake over and over again, not taking his losses quick enough. And he blew up a few accounts. He did one of those online prop firm accounts, and he kept blowing up about 10 of them as well. So quite a pattern here. And it was quite interesting to me because I asked him, hey, do you deep down really believe that you can change? And he thought about it for a moment and he said, logically, I know it is possible for everyone else, but not for me. I can't feel it. I can't see myself as a successful trader ever. And yeah, that is really difficult when you have this kind of belief about yourself to actually change, because then you need to live up to your own beliefs. That's just how our human mind works. And he said, also I read this research that it is much more or double painful to lose $100 than it is pleasurable to make $100. And maybe that's not helping either. And yeah, that's absolutely true. And it was a research from the 1970s that Amos Tversky and Daniel Kahneman conducted. And it was really groundbreaking at the time because they really went into the streets and spoke to everyday people and asked them how they make their everyday financial decisions. And these results, these discoveries, were published in one of my favorite books, which is Thinking Fast and Slow. If you haven't read Thinking Fast and Slow, you must read it. It really changed my life. Came out 2011 and I read it in 2012. I had so many aha moments why I was financially not in a good shape as I could have been, and it really changed my life. Now, the results of these experiments revealed this crucial truth that we traders know all too well. Most people reported that even everyday purchases, it feels better not to lose $100 than it does to gain $100. I mean, who hasn't felt cranky when you have bought something and next day you see it at a really big discount in a different shop, right? That's annoying. Now, this phenomenon that the pain of a loss feels much more intense than the pleasure of making a profit explains why so many traders fall into that pitfall of letting their losses run and cutting their profits short. Even giving back some of the profits feels like a loss. And that's why you might exit a winning trade too early, because you're so afraid to give back those profits, which actually is a justified fear because it has happened so many times, not just to you, to everyone. It's just the reality of life, reality of trading. And it sabotages your trading career if you keep prioritizing avoiding losses over holding onto profits. And so it skews your risk reward ratio. And with that, it means that you end up with bigger losses than profits. And no one can build a successful trading career with those results, right? It's a common mental trap, and it's one of the biggest forms of self sabotage in trading. And I've seen it ruining countless promising trading careers. Now take a moment to reflect on your own trading, yeah? So maybe think about yesterday or last year, and think about how the last time you had to take that loss, how that felt compared to taking a profit. And the difference is undeniable, right? It does feel, or it can feel worse than taking that profit. And so we know that loss aversion can be so strong that even a stop loss doesn't always help. Why? Because you might feel compelled to move that stop loss as soon as price approaches it. The inner urge, the emotions, they become so overwhelming that you feel like you can't resist it and you have to move that stop loss, trying to avoid the dreading feeling of having to take that pesky loss. And yet, every experienced trader knows that the key to long-term success is simple. You must learn to take your losses. There is no way around it. And easier said than done, I know. So now what? Yeah, here's where it gets interesting. Most traders who are stuck in the boom bust cycle really believe deep down that they can't change. And that is possible for others, but not for them. And I know you're wondering that same question. Is it possible for me to change? I know there are traders who can do it. I know there are traders who are really good at taking the losses, but is it possible for me? And the truth is, you are not doomed. You can change. Because what is loss aversion? Loss aversion essentially is it's just a habit of negative thinking and disempowering self-talk. Think about it, loss aversion, that fear of taking a loss, it's not something that we are born with. It's something that we learn. Maybe you learned it by observing your parents, and they learned it by observing their parents, and they learned it by observing their parents. Or maybe you had an emotional, painful experience when you grew up, and that taught you to fear losing. Whatever it is, the truth is, it is a learned behavior. And what has been learned can be unlearned. And the countless of successful traders out there who take their losses no matter what, they have proven it. And that means you can replace any self-sabotaging behaviors with new, empowering habits, like taking your losses when your risk management tells you to. You can learn that. You are more powerful than you think. And how do I know this is possible? Well, because I've seen it firsthand. There are traders out there, and I'm working with them who have mastered the skill. They take their losses consistently and without hesitation, and they weren't born with it. They had to learn it the same way you have to learn it. And if they could learn it, well, so can you.